I represent from midnight to high noon.
What's up, everybody? It's Tim, High Noon's Vinyl, and High Noon Jr., Oliver. So we're going to start this one off a little differently because, unfortunately, this kid's got something to do today. He's actually going to a birthday party and sleepover. So first off, I want to congratulate you. You've moved on to the 7th grade. Congratulations. He's wrapped up school. It's all good. He's moving on to 7th grade and still middle school here in Florida. Decent grades. He did really well. He's actually being put into an accelerated math program next year. So excellent job. But what we're here today is to talk about some of our, it's only 6 months late, so we're timely. We're going to talk about some of our favorite records of 2024. And since he's on limited time and I'm borrowing him for a minute, I wanted him to kind of go first, talk about his favorite release of 2024, what he liked about it, some of his favorite tracks. So Oliver, what was your favorite album of 2024?
My favorite album from 2024 was GNX.
GNX from Kendrick Lamar. That's his newest one. So what about GNX spoke to you?
Well, it was in fact like my first record that you and I got together.
Mm-hmm.
And it was and it spoke to me because it was Kendrick Lamar, and I recently was getting into Kendrick Lamar. So
what about Kendrick Lamar drew your ear to him? Because this year you really did start to kind of come into your own with a musical taste. You did like Michael Jackson beforehand, and you liked some of the 80s songs, you liked Tears for Fears and Rick Astley and stuff like that. But it seemed like Kendrick Lamar was the first one where you went absolutely over the moon and was completely obsessed. So what about Kendrick Lamar drew your attention?
I liked his rhyming scheme and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
He also has a really good voice.
Mm-hmm.
And the hidden messages here and there in songs are pretty cool to find. So that's kind of what spoke to me, is he was a really good writer, not just someone who mumbles all the time.
Gotcha. So lyricism, flow, rhyme schemes, double entendres, hitting meanings.
Yeah. He was definitely letting people hear him.
Yeah. What was the first song that you connected with Kendrick Lamar?
I think it was TV Off.
TV Off. So if you're not familiar, obviously this was the album that Kendrick Lamar did the biggest focus at the Super Bowl at. This is actually the indie exclusive blue vinyl. I think there may be one other exclusive out there. GNX, named after the Grand National, obviously coming off the heels of the big rap battle, diss track battle with Drake. Everybody can have their own personal opinion. We actually both agree that Kendrick Lamar actually won it round for round. Kendrick Lamar, in my opinion, delivered 3 incredible tracks with Euphoria. Meet the Grams and Not Like Us.
Not Like Us.
Not Like Us. I do have to give Drake credit on Family Matters. I thought that was actually a really good track, and I thought he actually threw a few good punches in and all that. But I think all in all, I have to agree with you. The rhyme schemes, the rhyme patterns, the overall lyricism of Kendrick Lamar took center stage. What would be if someone were to get it, if you were to recommend this album to somebody and said, hey, I want you to listen to 3 tracks off of this album to really get a feel for the vibe that Kendrick Lamar is on and the overall feeling of the album, what 3 tracks would you recommend someone to listen to check this album out?
Luther, Peekaboo, Not Like TV Off.
So Luther, which is the big hit he has right now with SZA, they're performing it on tour live. Yeah. TV Off, which was the one where if you saw the Super Bowl halftime show at the end, when he's halfway through, he screams mustard. That's TV Off. And what was the other one?
Peekaboo.
Peekaboo. A little bit more of a down tempo track, but overall, I would agree with those three. I think those three are fantastic. I also like Squabble Up. I think Squabble Up is a great track as well. So no surprise to anybody who's been watching and paying attention to this channel, and I wanted him to focus in on it. Kendrick Lamar's 2024 effort, released on vinyl late 2024, early 2025. GNX, Oliver's favorite album. If you had to pick a second favorite, would you have a second favorite right now, or are you still like exploring music and you don't really have a second favorite album of last year?
I'm still kind of exploring. I didn't really get much of anything last year of records. I kind of only got that, so.
Well, it's a fair point. So, Oliver's pick for 2024, four-time Grammy winner Kendrick Lamar, GNX. You've heard it here first. What's up, everybody? Back. Oliver is dropped off at his party, so I will continue on with my stack of 2024, kicking off with Kid Cudi. This is Insano. This one came out very early on in the year. Really enjoyed it. Critics seem to be hit and miss with this one. I don't care what critics say, to be honest. I thought this was a great album from Kid Cudi. He very rarely disappoints for me. Very excited to have this one. This one was the limited edition Target alternative cover. Really like that one, so that's the one I picked up. And then a band that I have talked about here before, Molchat Doma. They came out with a new one this year. This one is called Balaya Polosa. So very post-punk new wave sounding. They are from Belarus. All the lyrics are in Russian. This one reminded me a lot more of Depeche Mode. Had very danceable tracks. Had very much that mid-'80s synth pop or alternative synth feel. But like I said, very danceable. This one, as you can see, is actually autographed by the band. They were, I didn't even know it. They were in Orlando and had played a gig, which I wish I'd have known. I would have seen them. But the local record store here, Park Ave, had them come by, sign up a couple copies, and proceeds went to one of the local charities here. So definitely had to pick that one up. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Another one that came out, think this one came out right around Record Store Day, Black Friday. This one was Stress Eater. So Stress Eater is an offshoot of the name is falling out of my head. Czarface. There it is. Probably says it right on here somewhere. Yeah, Czar Comics Group. So this one, Czarface is Esoteric 7L and Inspector Deck from Wu-Tang Clan. This one is Esoteric 7L and Kool Keith, who's been a frequent featured artist on some of the Czarface records. This one, like I said, is all Kool Keith, keeping with the same vibe. This one, they feature Ice-T on a track, Mega Ran, and it's called Everyone Eats or everybody eats, and was really well done. This one is the yellow version. I believe there was an orange or something, or a fire red for the record store day. This one was exclusive to, I think it was Turntable Lab. Monkey 3, this was a discovery in 2024. A lot of headache and effort to get this one in, but ended up getting the limited edition orange clear. Instrumental prog, fantastic stuff. I think they have a couple more out, which I need to get, but Monkey 3, definitely worth my nickel on this one, and the effort to get it in, because I think I ordered it through Napalm Records, and it was just a big pain, but was glad to finally score that. It went away and score this copy. Been a big Griselda fan for the last few years. Griselda is made up of Benny the Butcher, who is this is his solo debut, and the rest of the members are falling out of my head. Conway the Machine and Westside Gun. Those are the three main members of Griselda. They're adding more people to it. I think it's like 38 Special and a couple of others. But this one is the solo effort of Benny the Butcher on his major label debut, Def Jam Records. Definitely a little bit, Griselda is definitely a little bit more of a harder hip hop edge, very much the crime storytelling type stuff, but I think he's an incredible storyteller, incredible lyricist, really well done. This one, when it came out, could not get enough of it. Found myself going back to it. Almost was my favorite hip hop album of the year, but it did get edged out. But this one I thoroughly enjoyed. Also picked up the latest effort from Judas Priest. It was Invisible Shield. These guys continue to just age like an incredible fine wine. No signs of slowing down in the tank, and just continue to deliver the goods. I was really impressed with this one, and found that it was still they're still putting out some of their best work. So hopefully we still continue to get a couple more for these guys. But even if they had to go out on this one, I would feel they deserve it. Fantastic record from metal legends. And now we come to my favorites. These were the winners, the top dogs. I have two, one hip hop, and then my overall, my hip hop favorite did get edged out. But my favorite hip hop album of the year was from Common and Pete Rock. So Common and Pete Rock got together very organically. It's kind of like, hey, if you're in town, kind of stop by. And essentially that's kind of how this all went down. This one was very much an idea that was birthed just kind of hanging out and talking, and they just legitimately enjoyed each other's company, ran through crates and crates and crates of records to come up with the samples for this one. Common, obviously very well known lyricist, actor, and Pete Rock, incredible legend when it comes to the hip hop beats of the boom bap style of the 90s. Very unique style that he has offered as well. This one was ordered. I pre-ordered this directly from Common and Pete Rock's label, or the label that put this one out. I believe it's Lona Vista. And what they did was at the first, I think it was 500 to order directly from them, got this signed insert from Common and Pete Rock, and definitely had to pounce on that. And it came on this limit, or there were a couple different colors. This was the Lona Vista pressing, this purplish violet color. Absolutely fantastic. Not the first time that Common and Pete Rock have worked together. Common did a diss track of all things against Ice Cube and Mac 10, called The Bitch in You, and Pete Rock had worked on that. And but this one is just an incredible love letter to that 90s era of hip hop, dreaming all kinds of ideas. When the sun shines again, everything's so grand. Wise Up, some of my favorites of this one. Highly recommend it. Then my favorite album of the year should be no surprise to anybody who was paying attention to the releases this year. And that was the new one from The Cure, Songs from a Lost Planet. Or Songs of a Lost Planet, excuse me. This one was just absolutely everything I was hoping for in a new Cure record. Dare I say, very Disintegration-esque, very moody, very dark. Robert Smith, unfortunately, was dealing with the loss of his brother and had written just some incredibly powerful, moving songs, very emotional, very purging almost, allowing himself to grieve through this songwriting experience. And we were honored enough to get this in form. It is dark, it is emotional, but it's still some of their absolute best work. This one is the 2 LP, I think it's half speed master pressing. So I believe this one was only available through their website. When I saw that this album was coming, I wanted to try to find the best sonically. Hit and miss with some of the people's feels of whether or not this is actually the best sonically. They've been using this Eco vinyl. I think it sounds decent, and you get the lyrics in there as well. But I think it sounds really good. I didn't obviously compare it to the single LP. However, I do hear some of the limitations of the Eco vinyl, but it didn't bother me at all. Still was my favorite record of the year. So I have the house to myself today. That's why I'm doing a record recap. I might do another. So I know it's late, but I wanted to share some of these favorites of 24. Some of the records I picked up. I think these were all the new releases that I picked up. Obviously, I still have Oliver's pick here, GNX. I really enjoyed that one as well. I'm a huge Kendrick Lamar fan. So, but who knows? Maybe I'll do another. Maybe I'll stack the deck and try to get a few of these done. So until then, thanks for watching. Appreciate all the love and support, and we'll talk at you soon. Peace.